Okay, well, hopefully people are catching up to the FUPA again. Somehow I got last week's link uh, in the uh, in the assignment piece instead of this week's link. So good to those of you that found the link going to the channel instead. That helps. So okay, yeah. If it's the difference between an A or a B or a B or a C and you three, I'll give you a little extra pitch there. Okay, let's go here. Okay, week 7. Gosh, can you believe it's almost gone already? This is crazy how fast the summer is going. And you know, summertime means hot weather, right, in the Midwest?
Oh,
So
worst.
we, being down here near Little Rock, down here where I live, we had an incredibly bad storm a couple nights ago. And we lost, was it Sunday night, Robert?
Oh gosh, what was it? I think it was Monday.
Monday? Okay. Was it just yesterday that I did all? No, it was Monday that I did all that work. So it was
Oh,
Sunday night.
There
Yeah,
you go.
Sunday night. Anyway, we lost some major limbs off of our 2 big maple trees, and we were just lucky. One of them, the leaves at the far end of the branch, hit a couple of the grandkids, but luckily they were pretty much unscathed. You know, they just said ouch and ran away from it. They were on the porch, and it got that close to the house that while they were on the porch, the smaller limbs slapped at them a bit. So that was lucky. And another limb fell between a storage building that we have and the back of the one mobile home that we have on the property. So just lucky that it decided to fall where it did, because it fell right in the middle of them. So a little bit of luck there. That's good. Both of the limbs, had they hit a structure, would have been easily big enough to cause some damage. So that we were lucky in that way. But man, those storms can get pretty violent.
And it wasn't even a
amazing.
tornado, which kind of put us off a little bit because there were no tornado warnings. It was just
Yeah,
high wind. Okay, we could do wind.
severe thunderstorm warning is all it was. Yeah, so that was crazy. So yeah, I'm glad everyone was okay too. Anyway, reminds me when I was in St. Louis for that F2 that we had that rolled through that damaged a good portion of the airport up there. That was kind of a wicked night as well. So we got a few people. How many we have logged in at this point that have found us again?
Oh, let me check. We're up to 10 people.
Okay.
So
Okay, we're getting them slowly here.
good.
Slowly here. They just have to realize that the other live stream they click isn't the right one and come back. So my apologies again. I set everything up all at once, and sometimes you just, obviously I just didn't get the right link.
Link doesn't copyright or something.
You can't tell unless you really look at it which link is to which video, because the link is not user-friendly at all. It's just a bunch of characters that are obviously randomly generated, like a password generator, so to speak. So it's quite difficult to proof what you have unless you click on a link, wait for it to load, and see if it's actually the one you need. So they only see the link unless they have the page refreshed. Yes, you do have to refresh the page. You're right. If they don't refresh the page, you're not going to get the new link. So
Yeah.
the assignment page, I assume you're referring
Well,
to.
we've dropped a comment in the other live stream as well, so if you pop on there and you try to comment, like several of you guys did to let us know that you were here, you should now see the top comment there.
Okay,
So
cool.
that should help.
Brandon made it. Caitlin. The Caitlin Nolan is here. Yep. Adam is here.
Oh, and of course, as always follows a good thunderstorm and plenty of weather. It's now topping over 100 degrees today.
Yep. So we have all our conditioners on high right now, and they're barely keeping up. It's about 80 degrees here in the studio, so whew, it's a little on the toasty side. We've had the air conditioner running for the last 4 hours to get this room cool, because this room's only about 10 wide by 23 or something. It's a real long and narrow room. So, alrighty, we got the smoky Canadian fire. You're getting the smoke from the Canadian fires in St. Louis? Yeah, you're right, Keisha. Kishaya. I need to go look at your video and see how you pronounced your name, Kishaya or Keisha. Anyway, air quality is over 150. Yuck. So they, okay. So you need a good storm to go through there and blow everything away if you can get it.
There you go.
But super hazy. Yeah, yuck. We haven't got the smoke this far south, but obviously you and the East Coast got quite a bit too. So how many do we have logged in now that have found it?
C12.
C12, okay. With about 23 still in the class, we're only half there, so.
We've been averaging 16 to 18 most months, so
yeah.
we lost
with those that have work schedules and stuff that conflict, and
right.
They just watch it later and do a summary. So, it smells terrible. So it's bad. The smoke is bad enough that you can actually smell the smoke, which that's when it's getting really bad. Hazy is one thing, but gosh, by the time you can smell it, that'll give people with asthma problems and other breathing issues some challenges, COPD and such. So,
well, when I was in Southern California during the wildfires there, the first thing you noticed was the smell. The smell was there long before it was hazy, long before anything else.
Oh, really?
But we were close enough that the progression from smelly to orange skies was like 2 or 3 hours.
Wow. Okay. Denise made it. Okay. Good. Well, I think we have a little bit of a critical mass here that we can probably go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and get the game pin rolling, and if you could post the game pin to the chat, Robert.
Sure thing.
The game pin is 9356427. Remember, you join on your phone to kahoot.it. 350 in Decatur, Illinois. Wow. Okay. Mr. England is there. Mr. Fairchild has made it. Okay. Kate Jacob. The day after those limbs fell, I went out and was a little bit too aggressive in getting all the limbs chopped up and getting them removed, and have spent the last couple of days hobbling around with my back hurting too much. So my wife says, when are you going to learn how much you can do without hurting your back? I have to tell her, I don't know. I'm always used to working from sun up to sundown. So it's kind of hard to tell me to quit something when I'm in the middle of it. So, alrighty. 8 folks joined us so far. Let's get another 4 at least. You say we got 12 logged in, which means one of them's me and you, right?
Probably, yeah.
Okay, we've got 10 now. Okay. So how many do we have logged in? To the
We
stream?
had 11 on the stream that I saw.
Okay, and one of them's me,
Okay.
me and you.
So we might have more now.
And so it looks like we've got the number we have. So we've got 10. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Let's hope a couple students find us a little bit later.
Yep.
So, all righty, blockchain week 7. And by the way, Robert, did you join?
Yes, I'm in here.
Robert is joining because I wrote this without his help. So large enterprises cannot adopt a public blockchain network. True or false? Blue is true, red is false. True blue.
Cannot. That's the word that I'm kind of focusing on there.
Don't pay much attention to cannot.
Don't pay.
It's the combination of cannot and public.
Oh.
And I fooled a few folks.
You fooled me.
Yep, I fooled a few folks. This one is hard, okay,
Uh-huh.
because large enterprises are usually governed by certain regulations and rules on data privacy and data, the way they manage their data. So companies like Boeing, for example, have to go with, let's say, a cloud provider that is got certain certifications from the government in order to even use a cloud supplier. So much of their data is not allowed to be on a public network. So the same is true at this point for public blockchains until we get public blockchains that can be hardened to the level that the government can certify a particular coding of a blockchain. Well, blockchains don't have any similarity yet. I mean, the one that IBM writes for TradeLens is not going to be the same as the one written for Congo, for example. Because they don't have any similarity in their base code, none of them can really be certified. That whole certification process is probably going to take at least 10 years, if not decades. So, tough question, but a good discussion topic anyway. And let's see who did answer it right.
Yeah.
So Tyler and Cantrell got it right. So
I want to recount.
I want to recount. Okay, well, let's go to the next question here. Congo benefits what industry? Red, the global supply chain efficiency. Or blue, global commodities trading. Or yellow, global trade finance. Or green, global currency exchange. And Robert's rolling his eyes over here.
Is this one in the book?
No, actually, this one I made a video on.
Oh gosh, how long ago?
A long time.
I edited this video and I still don't remember. Damn it.
I love it when Robert gets upset about things like this. Okay, you got 17 more seconds there, bud.
Yeah, I already selected one, so I'm.
Okay, we got one more answer to come in. Okay. You guys wrote a paper on it.
Dang it!
And 4 of you got it right.
And they wrote a paper on it.
Yep. Global trade finance. Now, I put the word global in every answer, and all of those things do happen. It's just that trade finance is what Congo was actually part of. So, hey, I'm challenging a few folks this time. That's great. All right, so let's see. Oh, Cantrell's got them both right this time. Okay. And so we've got a substantial lead for Cantrell there. Very good. Next, okay. What is BMRF? Blame My Roots Festival, red. Or blue, Blockchain Model Risk Framework. Or yellow, the Black Mesa Research Facility.
It's definitely.
Or
Black
none of
Mesa.
the above, green.
It's definitely Black Mesa.
Now, don't give away answers, because they might be wrong.
Oh man.
Now, this, I have to admit, was kind of a fun one to put in here because it is a rather obscure reference in the book. You got 9 answers. Laugh out loud, Black Mesa, yeah. Tyler. Okay. Anybody can join. I mean, the first place is up in the air right now. Because they only get more difficult from here. No, they don't actually, because they're all jumbled. So we got one person declining to answer. And did I fool you, Robert?
No.
You didn't.
No.
The only one that dealt with blockchain in the list is the right answer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
What I haven't done is read the book, so I
Yeah.
educated guess.
Yep. Educated guess there, and we have a lot of good educated guesses here, so that's good. The model risk framework was the risk framework that they suggested would be the ideal one to use for a business that's putting together a blockchain project. So, because blockchain has some uniqueness with it that normal project management for software or development of any kind like that, it has different things that you have to look out for. So, it has its own framework. So, how do we do? Oh, Control just keeps it up. All right, Tyler second, Brandon third, and Kate fourth. Okay. And Robert, you're on the top 5.
With one correct.
With one correct. Okay, with one correct. Okay, next, let's go. Okay, proof of concept design is a tool to mitigate risk. True or false? True blue or false red? Proof of concept design is a tool to mitigate risk. And we got 8 answers in, 9 answers in. What happened to our 10th person?
Probably connection issues.
Oh, I hope so. I hope that's all it is. Okay. I bet I don't fool anybody on this one. But we'll see. 10 answers. We must have 11 people logged in now.
Oh, okay.
Okay, because it's still not flipping to the answer yet. Okay, 13 seconds left. Hey, this is just too fun. Most of this stuff goes over the previous 2 chapters, the week 6 and week 5 chapters. And 10-0. Hey, we've got 10 right answers. So everybody's going to make progress. Let's see how quickly they answered the questions. Okay, Tyler's putting up a good fight along with Brandon. And Robert, you're still on the leaderboard. And
No
Control
chance
has 4 correct. How many questions have we answered so far?
4.
Okay, Control. Obviously, you really like the topic and read the book really well. Which type of blockchain network is best suited for many enterprises? A data warehouse, red, or blue, decentralized structure, or yellow, a centralized structure, or green, a hybrid, a mix of centralized and decentralized structure. Which is the best for most enterprises, or many enterprises? 9 answers in. And we had all 11 answers in, and 9 out of the 11 answered the question right. Robert, did you answer it right?
No.
Ah!
I think this is one you can argue.
Well, as I teach in my master's class, we won't have true decentralized designs for enterprise probably for another 5 years or so. That most of the ones being implemented now are a mix. Generally, the nodes are run as a decentralized node, but the data is mainly centralized. And the founders usually have the data centralized within the founders. So, good for you guys that answered.
I dropped all the way to 8th.
Oh, did you? All the way to 8th. Oh, so it tells you on your app where you're at? Okay. Okay, Robert, you're off the leaderboard. Kicked off. Okay, Kentrell, you just keep it up. Jacob is going to come after you, but Jacob's probably coming up the leaderboard there. Okay, next. Number 6. Multiple answers to this one. What consensus method or methods would a public blockchain use? Red, proof of stake. Blue, proof of trust. Yellow, proof of work. And green, proof of activity. Which ones would a public blockchain use? Now, I'm not sure quite how they're going to grade this one. But there is more than one answer.
Yeah, I'm not confident in this one either. I should be writing these quizzes, Dad. Come on.
So you have an unfair advantage. No.
Yes, that's the point. That's fine. I'm just gonna edit this out of the video.
Well, a lot of people scratching their heads. We only have 7 out of 11 answers. I went and reviewed my video that I made on this topic today
Yeah.
to put this together. Oh, we have them spread out.
Yes.
Okay. So the yellow, the green, and the red, proof of stake, proof of work, and proof of activity are all public blockchain consensus methods. The only one that's not is proof of trust, which is a brand new one that I talked about in week 1 before you really had a foundation to understand it or even retain it really. But the proof of trust was in the Unicorn Network, and it's brand new for that network, invented by the it's that banking, IMF,
The IMF, yeah.
International Monetary Fund, with their blockchain. They own the Unicorn.
Is
blockchain.
there a popular blockchain that uses proof of activity? That was the one I had the biggest question
A
on.
popular one? No.
Okay.
These are all rather obscure, and it's just the small blockchains that end up using them.
Proof of well, proof of work, obviously.
Proof of stake, those are 2
is-
gimmies.
Yeah. Proof of activity was the real question, but okay, so
Yeah, I had a choice of several of the obscure ones because once you got done with proof of stake and proof of work, where do you go from there?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
So
absolutely.
good for those of you that answered one of those 3, and Control maintained the lead with Tyler trying to catch up, and Robert. How did you get back on here? I thought you got that wrong.
I think everybody is so tight together, except for Control, because Control's getting everything right. I think everybody else is really tight together because those first couple questions knocked so many people down.
Yeah. Okay. Well, here we go again. The next 7 out of 10. What is not a method for calculating financial viability of a project? What one of those is not a method for calculating financial viability of a project? The payback period, red, or benefit cost ratio, blue, or net present value, yellow, green, annualized rate of return, blue, return on investment, or purple, internal rate of return. Which one is not like the others? Okay. Okay, we got 10 answers in.
I'm
We
sorry,
got
I
11 answers in.
haven't
Must have
taken
had a
finals
12th
class
person
in
join us.
a decade.
We've got them spread all around with only one person getting the right answer.
Control, I'm betting.
Probably. These are doozies. Yeah. Okay. The annualized rate of return is the percent that you get on an investment. Has nothing to do with managing or figuring out whether a project will be viable or not. So the annualized rate of return is not like the others. Okay.
That one I had knocked off my list because that was one that I recognized.
I kind of figured that would be the case.
Oof.
Okay. All right. Okay. Oh, and Control stays there, although he didn't get any points this last time. So, okay. That was me. I'm not that smart.
Well, good for you, kid.
Okay. Okay. What is not a business enterprise blockchain deployment focus? So, when they focus on blockchain, they do not consider cost savings, red, or blue, initial coin offerings, or yellow, efficiency, or green, business process cost sharing. Which one do they not consider when they're considering deploying a blockchain?
Finally got back to a reasonable question.
Oh, you think this is reasonable, huh? Okay, we'll see what the other people say.
And I'm gonna be just completely wrong.
Okay. Well, I gave you a good clue in the
Wow.
picture.
Sure.
Okay. Well, business enterprise blockchain deployment.
Right.
Enterprises think profit first. Okay. Robert says he got it right. Okay. And most of you did. That's good. Initial coin offerings come in public blockchains where they're deploying a new coin or a new financial feature usually. So very good. And let's see, is Control going to keep his lead? Yeah, he did. And he extended it a bit. Okay, Tyler, Kate, okay, Brandon, Robert, you're sitting fifth. You're sitting fifth. And you've been in so many of my classes. Obviously, you don't absorb
I don't
quite as
read the
much.
book. I don't do the reports.
Okay. All right, next, let's
Just
go.
annotate, okay?
Okay. Potential roles in an enterprise may play in a blockchain network include the user, the operator, yellow, the member, teal, the founder, green, or all of the above. Or all of the ones sideways. Or
Yeah, all the others.
yeah. Okay. What potential roles in an enterprise? I say I give it away in that question, don't I?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
I need to word that question differently.
Right.
Because I think I give it away. Everybody ought to get 100% on this one.
It should
You
be
would
pretty
think.
close, yeah.
Should be.
And there's always potential for misclicking or seeing the colors wrong or something, so.
Yeah. I clicked the wrong answer. Oh no.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So 9, all of the above. Yeah. The initial members of a blockchain when they're first deploying can be a founder, of course. That's the very, very first. A member, just an operator that just operates a node. In other words, they're using it, and then there's a user also. Okay, very good. All right, so nobody's knocking Control off. He's just on a roll today. The 600. Kate made a comeback with 3 in a row. That's cool. That's cool. Oh, Robert, you're at your highest level now. You're number 4.
So everybody else is going to take this last question, and I'm going to answer it instantly, and I'm going to answer it correctly.
We'll see. I don't think Control's going to stub his toe that badly. All right, 10 over 10. A blockchain ecosystem is some governance agreements. That's blue. Exit and entrance criteria. That's yellow. Green is details of data ownership. Teal is acceptable behavior of the participants. And purple is funding. Or you can just say, nah, all the above. Red. What does the group think?
I think some questions like this would be significantly more difficult if they were a multi-answer than this.
Yeah.
So here the question is more than one correct?
Mm-hmm.
And if more than one is correct, then all the above.
And we only fooled 2 people.
Yeah.
Okay. All the above. So when you put together an ecosystem, the founders, the users, the members, and the operators, when they form that ecosystem and get together to start actually putting forth the blockchain, there's governance agreements, details of who owns the data. Basically, so when you log in, you're getting to see your data only, that type of thing. The funding has to come all together because usually those, at least founders, come with their basic funding for the situation. And of course, they set up, what you can do in order to exit the blockchain if you no longer want. How much of the investment money that you put into it do you get back? That type of thing. And then, what's the bounds of acceptable behavior of users versus programmers versus all the people on your project team? How are they going to behave? Okay, so the podium, Yeah, number 3. I don't think that's you, Robert.
What?
Oh, that is Robert.
That is me.
Robert, you grew hair, and
I'm not. I
Kate.
have hair.
Kate and Brandon. Brandon,
What? Oh no.
what happened, Control? I might have blew my lead. Yeah,
Oh,
I think you did. I ended up 4th. Okay.
Well, good job, Brandon.
Good job.
Come from behind victory.
Good job. Yeah, it's good. Well, that was good. It allows me to bring up topics that review the subject matter, some of which you'll write about in the final week. So, all right. Good job. Yes, good job, everyone. Okay. Take a deep breath now. That was fun. Okay, I do have 2 articles for tonight. Haven't finished about 10th this season.
Oh no.
Above. Okay. Haven't finished above 10th this season. Oh, okay. All right. So, one of you posted this article talking about fake cryptocurrency sites. And, I have to admit that, this doesn't surprise me at all. These kind of schemes have existed in all forms of money, all currencies, and all technologies ever since we started getting emails. And the hardest part of the fake what gotcha type emails, that are phishing emails, spelled PHISH, is the fact that these sites take advantage of people who are just a little bit less knowledgeable about what's reality in an email or reality in the world. This one I think has it right when it says the theme actually appears to be the old Nigerian prince scam with a modern twist, and that Nigerian prince scam has been around ever since regular snail mail. Where you get an official looking letter in the mail and you could respond to that. That morphed over to an email version of it, and I'm sure all of us have at least gotten one of those in our lifetime, where they somehow come up with your email and send you this weird thing that says, oh, I'm just trying to get my money out, and if you just put in a little bit, I can be able to unlock this and get the money out. Well, what they unlocked is your purse, and you never see the money coming back to you, of course. It just reminded me of a video that I watched earlier today that was the Y-Files. If you've ever seen the Y-Files, and Hecklefish is the fish that provides the comic relief during the video, because he talks about historical subjects, and he provides the comic relief. And he was off on a trip. Hecklefish was off on a trip. Now, a goldfish going on a trip in the Sahara Desert, well, actually the Nigerian desert, in search of the Nigerian prince, because he knew for sure that he was going to get his millions by responding to this, but he wanted to do it face to face. So he was looking for the Nigerian prince. Nope. And of course, the narrator to the show tried to convince him otherwise, but he wasn't taking any part of it. So he was going to ride his camel until he found that Nigerian prince. Okay, so it's just kind of funny. That kind of a joke and that kind of a paradigm has been around for a very long time. And so what we're finding is in the blockchain world, it's another currency that you can go after. It's dollars or any other fiat currency, and now it's let's play with Bitcoin and see how much Bitcoin we can get people to send us. And frankly, the goal is to trick people into giving away their Bitcoin, called the Impulse Project. Is the project Trend Micro used to try to find these people. And they thought, maybe it was one site. And the problem is, it was a lot of different sites. They were asking for roughly that you would receive roughly 0.7 Bitcoin, and but you had to give them 0.01 Bitcoin first, another cool $250 in the pocket for no work other than sending an email to a huge list. So, you send them the money. Of course, they don't send it back, which is the assumption here in this article. At first, they only discovered one website, but after they started working on it, they traced the person who was creating the websites, or the entity that was creating the websites, to well over 1,000 domains.
Wow.
They were created between 2021 and 2023. So a lot of sites devoted just to scamming people out of $250 at a time. And they say it might go back as long as 2016 because they saw other domains being created earlier than that have long since been retired and they've moved on. So usually it would be fairly easy, they say here, but the Bitcoin network isn't necessarily easy to find things in if you don't know what the wallets are. Now, if you caught up to the people who sent in the money and they still had the email that had the Bitcoin address, they could start tracing that Bitcoin address. But if they chased the Bitcoin address to where they actually sent it, usually it goes from one Bitcoin address to several others, and then it gets sent out of that to an anonymizer. Okay, several of these have been made illegal in the United States, but they're what is it?
Tornado Cash being the biggest.
Tornado Cash, you might have heard in the news media, but basically, once it gets thrown through that anonymizer, it becomes a dead end to law enforcement, and they can't track it. And frankly, for $250, they're probably not going to be all that excited about putting a lot of effort into finding your $250. They'll just say, well, that was a $250 lesson you just learned, and a lot of times that's what it ends up being. Why does it matter? Well, we've had a lot of problems with cryptocurrencies being able to hold on to their to the currency, even within their own system, due to using loopholes that have been in the system or using coding gaps that are in the system and taking advantage of those. We sure don't need another layer of legitimate places also being scammed because people aren't careful to watch what their phishing emails are saying, or other phishing SMS or text messages or other means whereby they find to try to get you to send you their coin. Right now there's $1 trillion right now of market cap. How much of that is locked away in lost wallets? We don't know. Right now, none of the Bitcoin that was originally mined by the Satoshi Nakamoto alias has ever moved. It's still sitting in a wallet and verified that it's all still there. And it's worth millions today, but it hasn't moved at all since Bitcoin has originally been created, which I find to be very interesting as well. So the FTC reported that retail investors are losing as much as $1 billion in scams, and that's why it's a big deal. We need to somehow figure out how to stamp these out. But you've got to have some brain power between your two ears in order to really see these things and not respond to them, because some of them are pretty tantalizing and difficult, especially to a lesser experienced one. I know that when I was trying to teach my mother about email and all those things, she would frequently come to me and ask about, this looks like it's a really good deal, but is it? And she at least knew the moniker, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. So she'd ask, and that saved her several times. So some people, don't have that critical person that they can ask. So thousands of websites seeking to take away your money. So that is really what the message here is. You've really got to watch whatever the scheme is, whether it's Bitcoin or whether it's real money or whether it's sending a check to to some place that you don't know. Yeah, Robert.
Yeah, well, there's another variation of this scam that's still involving cryptocurrency, and it runs directly through YouTube. And and it's been going on for years. And what happens is when a YouTube channel is hacked, it is then sold to, if there's some service, they rebrand it, and usually they put a name of Elon Musk or Tesla or some big name tech person on it. And then what they do is they host live streams where all they do is put some old conference where Elon Musk or Bill Gates or somebody is talking, and they just put that live stream on and they let it go basically until YouTube catches up and shuts it down. But then down below they say there's a crypto giveaway, and it's in the category of crypto doubling scams, where they say send any amount of money that you send to this address, they will send back double. So they're using the authority or perceived authority of Elon Musk or somebody that's well known in the crypto space. Well, and they're using the fact that it's on a massive channel, usually channels with hundreds of thousands or millions of subscribers, and they're live, and there's active people in the chat room, and I mean, there's a lot of perceived authority there, so it's really hard to see through and not get bit by it.
Wow. Okay. I know I've seen a lot of channels that they go on a live stream, and the name of the channel doesn't have anything to do with what the live stream is about. And I know the live stream has come from usually an authoritative source like Fox News or some place like that. And they're showing the whole thing. And I'm wondering, how in the world did they get the digital rights to that whole video?
And they don't. It's just YouTube's system is not fast enough to catch it and shut it down immediately.
Because they don't actually post the video, do they?
Right.
They live stream.
Just live stream, right.
So,
and basically, YouTube does have a tripwire to shut those things down, but usually when it's dealing with illicit material, none of this is illicit material.
right.
And so that tripwire is never triggered. And
Okay.
so that's another thing to watch out for that's right along the same sort of
Yeah, right along. Okay, very good. Well, I got a little bit of time to go over the next subject. This subject is that blockchain can save the media. And I think the operative word here is it can save the media. See, one thing that it points out here is that that we're going to have a real big challenge, probably through this election cycle especially, with AI duplicated individuals. You know, you've seen the places where they've been able to take an individual and basically duplicate their voice, duplicate their face, have somebody giving the talk that they're going to duplicate, verbatim, so that they can get the movement of the face and overlay the popular person's face that's giving the talk. And so by that, they can stitch together different words said by a particular person, and for nefarious purposes, they can actually get a message out that person would never say. We saw that when there was a bunch of information about Trump being arrested, and they showed this picture.
Pictures.
Yeah, they showed this picture of Trump trying to escape the clutches of these FBI agents that are swarming him, and of course that was totally fake.
Right.
But it showed what kind of information can be out there. We've got plenty of disinformation happening now. So that is the backdrop for this article. So this article is trying to say that blockchain could save us from this situation by creating a provenance for the data itself. In other words, the picture was taken by this photographer, and this photographer sold it to that site, and you can go back to the original look of what that picture looked like in the form of an NFT, that you could see the original picture, and then you could see how it's been possibly photoshopped along the way by other unauthorized sources that have, picked it off of whatever and decided to make fake news out of it. So what this is saying is basically just like we talked about with wines and with food, seeing the provenance of it from the farmer to the grocery store, or the winery, all the way to the shelf wherever you buy wines and other alcohols. You can get the provenance of these digital media as well, so that you can be able to detect whether there's fraud or fake news or somebody's trying to deceive you by stitching things together. There would be no provenance. The only challenge with that is that everybody has to be doing it. So somebody that takes an actual picture that doesn't submit it to the blockchain and make it an authorized sort of thing to get the provenance going and make it documented that way. If not everybody's doing it, you can't, the bad guys will always just say, well, this was actually taken by the real photographer and this is real news. Not everybody uses a blockchain, folks, so this is real, and how do you know?
Or I was just on the street and he was passing by and I took this photo myself on my iPhone, and who knows?
Exactly. Who knows? So it would be incredibly powerful if we could do this. It's basically, this guy is an AI optimist that wrote it, and I appreciate it coming from that point of view, simply because he thinks that AI can be a benefit, but recognizes that there's obviously going to be some challenges with it. AI and Web3, which is basically the combination of digital assets to the blockchain, can help to expose these problems. It can also, get rid of this big tech problem that we've had with them censoring information and actually get true information out there. So, I'm sure all of us would have liked to have better information concerning the COVID virus, whether you're on one side of the fence or the other, pro or against. Everybody would have loved having better and more information than what we had during the whole lockdowns, the pandemic scare, and all of that information. I mean, I've had COVID twice. It had basically presented itself as not much more than a cold. I lost my voice during Christmas time last year. Didn't make any videos for about a month. That all started with COVID. The recovery period took a while for my voice, but I was working the whole time. At very, very early, while everybody was quarantined, one of my coworkers got COVID, documented that he had COVID. He was one of the numbers. I didn't report mine. But everybody wondered, you had COVID? Really? He says, yeah, I took one afternoon off. And this was very early on when it was the most virulent. But he was healthy and strong. He was 25, 27, somewhere there. So we would have loved to have more information, but a lot of the information from, like, my friend wouldn't have made it through all the filters to the media saying, hey, if you're healthy, it's not that big a deal. Let's not fret too much about this. So anyway.
And to provide on the other side, there are a lot of people who say it's all a hoax, that none of it ever happened. And again, this same good information that blockchain can help us have access to would prove, yes, people got sick. These things did happen. These people did die. And so on both sides, we can all say, okay, here's reality, as opposed to where we're at right now, where everybody kind of assumes their own reality based on all of this disparate information.
Exactly.
Which AI is not going to make much worse.
Exactly. And I don't think blockchain's going to come to the rescue for that soon enough. Not at all. So
two major presidential campaigns have already used AI to create fake images or voice of their opponent.
Really?
Yep.
Two presidential campaigns?
Two presidential campaigns.
So the one that Trump won and the one that Biden won?
No, I'm talking about in our current system in the last 2 months. So I don't want to bring them up specifically, but I can share them with you.
Because this isn't a politics channel.
Right, I don't want to go to the politics of it, but two of the if you name top 4 people, you'd know you'd be naming these 2 campaigns.
Okay.
So
Well, that's interesting.
yeah.
Okay, so AI is going to be fun. I'm excited for it. I use it on my main channel that I teach Access for. I develop all the scripts and I give the video, and it's all my voice and all my words, and I run that script. Actually, Robert runs that script through AI, and he's perfected several things to say, give me a succinct description of what is in this video. And it's really helped the algorithm in a lot of ways in being able to present my information accurately, because the description is 100% accurate, and the title truly reflects what's in the video. So in that way, I love AI. So let's see if we've got questions here. If I see an AI-generated video on a media outlet, then I officially lose all hope for the news.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
I think I've lost all hope for the news a long time ago. I've come across those streams before. Yeah, I have too. Unknowingly, Robert just described it, and I said, yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah.
I ignored the text in the bottom, but I thought it was really creepy that, you know, this would have a live stream about this that I knew was presented years ago, and it's live streaming? It didn't make sense.
Weird, yeah.
It didn't make sense. So I've seen that.
And these are specifically targeting people who are technically savvy enough to have a Bitcoin wallet, to have money invested in Bitcoin, to already have figured out that system, which is not easy to get into. And they're still tripping up because that's how good this scam is.
Yeah. All right. We've got a few moments for questions. And if you want to call the roll call too, we can take roll call and take questions. And we didn't have our visitor come and join us today that joined us last week. I probably scared him away. But it was nice to see a visitor once in a while.
Yeah.
Usually about every class we get at least one class that has an outside visitor. So that is always very interesting. And you have a good evening too, Hannah. Okay. And so I'll be taking attendance from the end of the video this time for all those people who took a while to find us
Absolutely.
because of it. So I'll make sure I check next week to make sure that it's right.
Right. And I'll make sure I log into Kahoot during the week so I can see next week's answers.
He's not going to let me surprise him again. Let's see. And you ended up third?
I got 3rd, yeah.
Okay, not too bad.
Yeah.
He's absorbing a little bit along the way. Okay, very good. Good night, Denise and Caitlin. Irene. All righty. And Jacob. All right. Okay, well, we'll close the live stream now, and look forward to seeing you all next week, and seeing all those new articles that you post tonight and through the next few days. So talk to you later.